morning, good afternoon, good evening. It is the Boombar right here on your Boom Radio NG. And my name, Oladolupo Balogun.
My name is Shola Rogers. And it's a pleasure to be back at the bar. It's been a couple of days, but you know how it is now. We keep moving.
Yes. A big warm welcome to the bar this very interesting afternoon. There are going to be a couple of things that we're going to be talking about.
If you is what it is. You know, like, lately people don't know how to speak English, and what Dolupo said is the right thing. I just want to reiterate that recently I was talking to someone and I said, oh, quite a few. And when we went for it, the person was like, no, this is not quite a few. And I'm like, okay. We need to buy this, what's that book of idiomatic expressions again? My book of idiomatic expressions. What was that book again? There's one book of idiomatic expressions. I should Google it. I hope they still make it.
Very possible, and it's very possible they don't. Any which way, good afternoon, Bijo. Warm welcome to the bar again this very interesting day. As we're going to be talking about a couple of things at the bar. There's news coming from COP. There's a bit of controversy back and forth on that matter that we probably will see how much that we can, how much of it that we can shed light on. There quite a number of what's the word now? Issues coming from the courts. We definitely would also get around to that. Hopefully, we will get to the courts, and basically it just things here and there, but if time permits us, we would also see how much of sports that we can also take.
Isn't it sad that we always say, if time permits, we'll do sports?
It's not sad.
On my watch.
It's not sad.
It's sad life.
Any which way, starting from, sadly, the event that happened yesterday in Kaduna State, where it is confirmed 85 people were killed and about 66 others were injured just because they were just on their own having some nice celebration. And this is literally the definition of stray bullets. Just went to hit them in a Kaduna community. Very, very, very sad incident. That many people dying. It's a very, very funny scenario, because the Nigerian army has come out to say that it was more of bombing an enclave of terrorists, but in between doing that, there was now also innocent people that also were killed in that incident. It's a very, very sad one. The president has ordered investigation into that error bombing, as it's been called. Also today, as of today, the chief of army staff himself has paid a condolence visit. Also, some elders of the town are also now asking for compensation.
If you don't know what we're talking about at the moment, there was a bombing. Dolupo referred to it as literally straight bullet. I thought she was going to say straight bomb.
Straight bomb.
Stray. And again, why am I trying to correct people's English today? I saw people writing straight bullet, and I'm like, curved.
Straight now.
I'm telling you, straight bullet. It's not straight, though. It's curved bullet.
Why do we do these things? You don't know it.
Don't use it now.
Don't use it. Don't just try.
Someone wrote in arrears and spelled it as happy birthday in arrears. I saw that this morning, spelled it as ARIAS. Okay.
Wait. Please come again. ARIAS. But you know, in people's defense, there's some words that you just don't know how to spell it.
Yes.
Everybody but goes you just rather that. Not
now,
use it.
This person typed this.
You rather not use it.
You typed it on the smartphone. Check. If it's a word,
if I were the word, I would rather not use it.
No,
but that's if you know that you are wrong.
If it is
you might not know that you are wrong.
That now you have come to where I was.
You might not know that you are wrong.
Okay, really. You said in fairness, but now you've left the fairness, Abi. So in meanness now, Abi. Thank you very much. She's mean. She's come back to being
You might
mean.
just not know you're wrong.
Exactly the point. If you don't know it, you don't know it. So in arrears, like, please. Now, so it's a bar, so we just quickly deviated to prove a point. Establish something. Because we're coming back to education in Nigeria. Now, the bombing of that place is one of the saddest things that I've ever heard in my entire life. Like, you're talking about people who were just on their own. An entire community, who were just on their own. And this means that it could happen to anybody, anywhere. And the sad part was that when it happened, is it that the army did not know on time for them to have quickly, come out to say, look, something's gone wrong and we're on top of it?
I don't think so. I think that remember there was the story of the Air Force.
That's where I'm going.
The first thing is that's what everybody would have thought, that it was the Air Force.
So you see where I brought up what I brought up. Is it that the army did not know, as at the time this strike was done, that they had done something wrong? Because the Air Force caught a lot of flack for something that they knew nothing about. And as much as it's a sad incident, we need to be more proactive in handling these situations. It's so sad. Over 80 people lost their lives, just for being at the right place at the right time. But now that right place turns out to be the wrong place, at the wrong time. And the army came out later to, which I respect, own up to this sad tragedy. Losing 80 plus people in one fell swoop is not an easy thing at all. It's not something that anybody looks forward to.
And it was a very avoidable death. Sadly, the truth of the matter is that until things like insecurity is stamped out, it sounds like it's unfair, but the truth is that this kind of things it could reduce, but I don't think there will always be unnecessary casualties with some stray stuff until these things are stamped out completely.
So now the army have come out to own up to it, and they're saying that they're definitely going to be, bringing succor to this community. It is sad, but what quickly gets to me is how the leaders of that community are quick to ask for compensation. I'm like, okay, isn't it like at this point you're probably still mourning the death of your loved ones? If there's going to be a burial, you're looking at a mass burial. If they've not done it, because I don't know how much of their remains would survive the heat,
bombings,
and all of that from the bomb. So again, another thing that must be looked into is the talks of a drone being deployed. So how effective are we going to be with managing technology? Because the advantage of having a an unmanned air vehicle, a UAV or whatever they're called, or drone like we like to call them, is that you do not run the risk of losing a pilot. That's one of the advantages of having a drone. Yeah. And apart from stealth and other things, the fact that if something goes wrong and the drone gets attacked, one or two people on that plane will, if it's a plane that carries two pilots or even a transport, at least no lives will be lost. Now you're talking about trying to avoid losing one of yours, and you end up wasting about 80 plus people. The president,
my issue now is that I get it, but also how are we sure? I don't want to sound like I'm insensitive, but how are we sure that part of these 88 people are not part of terrorists?
Well, until we can prove otherwise, the narrative now, and even the army has already apologized, showing that there's nobody thinking along that line. Is it impossible? No, it's not. Could the criminals have used them as a human shield?
As human shield?
Oh, it happens a lot with terrorists. You know, it happens a lot with all these terrorist organizations. That's why, in fact, most times they use human shield. They go to places where innocent people are with the hope that they cannot be smoked out, you know. So yes, it's also very possible. But sadly or gladly, I don't know how you look at it, that's not the case at the moment. The focus is on how, you know, it's supposed to be a mistake. And 85 people in one fell swoop.
It's a lot. It's a lot.
lot.
Any which way, just hope
what does the president inquiry hope to find out?
I don't know what happened, who made the mistakes, whatever it is. We will definitely follow that. But we cannot dwell so much on that as we have a whole lot of things to talk about. Anyway, we just hope that the people of this area find some succor after this, and hopefully this kind of things do not happen again. Now, moving on from that, and let's go to at the moment, I think has COP ended?
No.
So, there's been a lot of conversation about the Nigerian delegates, COP-28, specifically the amount of Nigerian delegates that have that are in Dubai at the moment. If possible, I think, if I'm correct, it's about 1,400 and something delegates in Dubai. Now, according to, after there's been a lot of conversation around it. In fact, even the Labour Party presidential candidate had something to talk about it, and all those other, you know, a lot of people have come to talk about it. Now, the federal government had come out to say that not everybody that is on that list that is said or that is named under Nigeria is sponsored by the federal government. According to them, they're saying that about 222 people that are delegates sponsored by the federal government. Everybody else is either sponsored by the state governments or private companies, or even the hosts themselves
and organizers.
So that is number one. That is there. Now there's now other conversation of, do we need up to 400 people in there as, you know, federal government delegates? There is the conversation of different people having different things. In fact, a senator, while having an interview, is saying that the federal government having about 400 delegates is small. And then you want to like, okay, what exactly do we want?
Okay, one of the things that if we can put our emotions aside and really look at it broadly, is that the Conference of Parties, the COP-28, that's ongoing in Dubai, and all the COPs are not like your regular conferences. You get the UNGA, it's straight open and close. Like UNGA is like the main session. Of course, there are the sidelines that people have meetings and stuff. But COP has so many events tied into one, and
there isn't like one specific event. There are a lot of things happening at the same time.
You know, so it's like an Olympics of sorts, where so many athletes are gathered at the same time. But this one now, we're talking about business people and NGOs, civil societies, journalists, government people, all in one place, you know, talking different things, but majorly focusing on the climate, majorly focusing on the Earth's well-being of Mother Earth. So COP is what it is, and that's why you find some countries taking over 2,000 people, you know, because they're going to be into many things. Now, some of the businessmen that have also made it there are there because of their business, because again, they are also big on safety, they are big on climate, you know, change and so many other things. And a lot of people are also trying to position themselves based on the new funds that are going to come out, and the fact that the world really should move towards renewable energy and clean energy. These are the reasons why a whole lot of things are happening. But in between that, I still find that I agree with people that some things are condemnable. Like you can condemn some actions of government. One of the things that government must review is the payment of extra code to people when they go abroad. A lot of insinuations are about the cost of the entourage, 422. Away from the allegations of 1,400 that a lot of people have insinuated and some media houses have also played up. We're talking 422. I saw images of 2 federal agencies signing some kind of agreement in Dubai. Mm-hmm. And it felt odd when I saw it.
Why though?
I glossed over it and I'm like, okay, let it go. Couldn't they have signed that agreement in Abuja?
I don't understand.
2 federal agencies. I think it was Naseni and Ria also.
Oh, wait. I saw it, but I thought that they were signing it with some.
I didn't see
they were signing it with themselves.
Yeah, I didn't see any. The image I saw, except they're going to show us a video that shows some foreign partners that they went to meet with. I didn't see that. So again, these are some of the things that's got people talking. Like, why are you doing that on foreign soil? If that's the purpose of, then it makes it look like that's the purpose of those 2 agencies going to Dubai.
Yeah.
On our dime, on our naira and kobo, on our scarce dollars. Mm-hmm. So these are some of the things that makes people talk. Again, every time government says to people to tighten their belts, tighten your belt, tighten your expenditure, you must cut down on expenses and everything. Government must be showing it by example. So question is, do they really need that much? Yes, someone is saying they should have even taken more people. But so if they are saying that based on the current situation of the country, they took only 420, only meaning that it could have been more than 420. Yes. People are still saying that at that 420, it's still high. But if government comes out to say, for instance, that look, even the 420, we're not giving them extra code, or we're not giving them the regular extra code. We're not giving them the usual. We're going to get something less, and all of that. Then maybe people will start to say, oh, they've made some adjustments even beyond, the normal. Because if everything is normal in a situation like this, when things are abnormal, people will question government. One of the things I'm happy about is that everybody's asking questions now. People are putting their eyes into virtually everything. But again, you must seek knowledge in the things that you want to criticize so that you don't come across as ignorant, which is what I've seen some people come across in criticizing this. Yeah. So, but I'm basically trying to strike a balance here to say, yes, COP-28 should mean a lot of good things for Africa and Nigeria in particular. Saying that deals are being struck here and there, a couple of arrangements have been made, for partnerships with foreign partners that could bring foreign direct investment and also move Nigeria towards clean energy, renewable energy. These are the things that we must be excited about.
Yeah, so I'm still talking about this before we leave on this matter quickly. One of the interesting drafts of agreements that UN has released is the option of doing absolutely nothing on fossil fuels, meaning that there's no exploration of them anymore. There is no, literally just leaving them the way they are.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how visible is this in the nearest future? Take Nigeria, for example. Nigeria has so much deposit of fossil fuels that literally in the last 1 year, places that in 20, 30 years ago would never have thought that would have crude oil. We will probably get to a point where we realize that every single state in Nigeria has crude oil.
Yeah,
at the rate that we're going now. And we know that for a large extent, our budget is still funded mainly. But yes, there are a lot of things that are getting better now. There's a lot of exports. There is a lot of IT and all that, but the mainstay of the Nigerian economy at the moment is still fossil fuels. So, and which is also, there are also a lot of other countries, African countries, that are like that. Are we saying that, how visible is that idea, or how is it going to work? Because keep in mind also, remember we're having this discussion this morning where the amount of years these developed countries had lived or had survived on fossil fuels, and now they want to gradually move out of it, but we also have to get on with the time. It's how visible is this? Is it, we all cannot be, because we're never going on at the same pace anyway from the get.
That's the billion dollar question. You know, how do you expect Africa to just move from dependency on selling and using, fossil fuels, to just overnight going into the cleaner energies? But one of the things that I can say on the part of Nigeria is the seriousness to move to gas, which is safer, than petrol and the other cousins and sisters that come from that group. So again, we can commend Nigeria's plan towards using gas and all of that. However,
okay, so sorry, just wanted to put this out there quickly. Something that we had talked about earlier. The Defense Headquarters has officially spoken and has said that there were actually a lot of terrorists embedded with civilians with the Kaduna bombing. And also the Chief of Army Staff had donated 10 million naira to the community.
Yeah. So just like this is why we want us to always keep an open mind and look at things from many angles. Yeah. It was possible because it's a tactic that terrorists deploy from time to time. It would have been nice if they didn't take this action and maybe had surrounded them and were able to sort out who was the bad guy and who was a good guy. But well, I hope that lessons will be learned from this, and this kind of mistakes will not happen again. Mistakes in court. So kudos to the Nigerian Army for at least quickly doing this. I know that the federal government will also be reaching out to them, and we'll be looking at ways to bring them succor.
Yeah.
At a time like this.
All right, so please go ahead.
Yeah, so the movement towards gas is a big deal. Nigeria is really serious about it, and a couple of countries are also looking towards Nigeria for gas. There's the AKK pipeline, which is something that started under President Buhari, and it's nearing completion. It's really gone far, and that's supposed to also help drive, production, help increase the power supply, power generation and supply to different parts of Nigeria. And of course, there's the gas pipeline that's still going all the way to Morocco, with talks of it extending to Europe. So yes, so these are things that would work well when you're talking about, cleaner energy.
Cleaner energy, yeah.
Because the world needs energy.
Oh yeah, we definitely need it.
But have we really looked at all the options?
All the other options, yeah.
I saw a BBC report of a Nigerian man that says he's been working on a generator that's powered by water. I saw that video and it worked.
No, I'm not saying it won't work. I'm not saying it won't work.
And it worked.
Let me just be quiet.
So there were a couple of years ago, there was a man, I think it was somewhere in France or so, who talked about a car that was powered by water.
Yeah, and then you never hear about those people anymore.
Some Nigerian students talk about creating
you just never hear about those things anymore.
Some internal combustion engine that was powered by water, and you hear this, then you hear this, then that's what.
And then it just
So I'm bringing it up again to say, can't the world really look at these things and say?
So the question for me is that, do the world leaders really want this?
Yeah.
At the end of the day,
because water no get any.
Because if you're really not careful, we're just all this COP and all these hunger and all these things probably just playing to the gallery. My opinion, though, because there probably have been a lot of solutions over time, and nobody has ever looked into it. Nobody has ever really invested in it. Even if it is that you have tried it and maybe it can be replicated on a large scale, at least let there be some information around it. I
saw another video last week. It was a full-length video, almost 2 hours on Twitter, and we were talking about big pharma. We were talking about the drug. We call them. It's not drugs. What do they call them again? The pharmaceuticals.
Oh yeah, about how a lot of things. I'd seen. I think someone had sent something about that to me a few months ago about how even vaccines. That should be careful with the kind of vaccine.
No, this is even different now. This is talking through the years about the last 80 years of cures for cancer, and the world still says there's no cure for cancer. And they've been about 3 or 4 doctors in quotes who have talked about natural cures, and they are medical doctors. At least 2 of them, 2 of the 3, And this happened. The video was done in a chronological way. It kept me up all night. I watched it for about 2 hours, And I'm thinking like, okay, could all of this just be some voodoo person claiming they have a cure for cancer, or could it still be big pharma trying to suppress solutions that? Because all those 3 people, they don't know themselves, and they kept on saying they wanted it to be free and they wanted to give it to the world. Meanwhile, pharmacists and pharmaceutical companies sell drugs and make a lot of money. It's one of the biggest industries in the world. It's one of the biggest industries in the world.
I don't know. We'll see.
Again, do we really care about the world and the people in it so much that we're looking for solutions, or we're just going to keep running around in circles, and claiming that this something is impossible when it's actually possible? It's food for thought. I'm not saying that what I saw was 100% correct. I'm just saying that could we have real leaders in the world, regardless of which country they are from, who really care so much about their people, and they're going to invest in proper research that even the scientists will not say no to?
Any which way, let's move on from that quickly. As we're moving on to something that seems to be causing a lot of conversation on social media today, and it is, I think that the conversation had gone on, or it's, will I say that the announcement, we knew it was coming, we just didn't know when it was coming. I know there's been an announcement that they were going to do it, we just didn't know when. And I'm talking about the immigration laws in the UK. Now, the UK Prime Minister had put out saying, in fact, there's the videos of it online about how a few things that they have banned now officially. Some things, one of it is banning overseas students from bringing their families to the UK unless they're on postgraduate research degrees, stopping immigration, undercutting British workers, scrapping the 20% going rate salary discounts offered for shortage occupations. It said they're stopping overseas care workers from bringing dependents into the UK, stopping immigration undercutting by increasing minimum earnings threshold by 48%. They're ensuring immigrants sponsoring dependents can support them financially. I saw a video, I think it was from the House, where they were talking about this, and they were talking about how it's almost the same amount of people that came in on the study route. It's almost the same amount of dependents they brought in, and just about 20% of that number are even working. So they're saying that there's a large chunk of people in the UK that are not adding to the economy of the UK. I know a lot of people are talking about this as regards Nigeria. It doesn't affect just Nigeria. But I also feel that we had gotten to a point where, I don't want to say it was a status symbol or something. I saw a tweet earlier in the day, which I would say that I agree with, where you see virtually everybody that goes to the UK, the next thing, they're on Instagram with ring lights, or they're on YouTube telling you steps on how you can go to the UK. Are you joking? Like, you got to the UK, glory be to God. Can you just keep it to yourself?
Okay. I want to look at it from a different angle, then maybe zeroing in on this our expert travel advisors.
Everybody is a travel
who
advisor.
are abroad now, who live. We're talking about the UK immigration. Now, it is a thing for the British. It's not the first time that they're doing it. When they need cheap labor or some form of boost in their workforce to relax the visa requirements and the travel process. It's not the first time. In the last 15 years or so, I think this is the third or fourth time that they're like, saying, "Oh, you can come. Britain is open. Come," and everybody starts to brush. And when they see that they have what they need, they go,
You bounce your people.
"We're changing the rules. We're going to bring this." There's no rule that they are bringing that is new. They're just dusting it off the shelf and saying, "Okay, we're going to stop X number of people from coming into our country," and blah, 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 blah. This is how it's been for years. So, yeah, the Nigerian new settlers in the UK who go there and make these funny videos telling people might have contributed one way or the other to some of the issues. They might have, but I think there's always a grand plan by the British to open up their gates, then shut it again, then open up their gates, then shut it again. So that is actually established. Now, to talk about the people who do these things, I always find it very funny. Like, for instance, when you come into a new level, a new dispensation, or a new position in your life, you seem to assume that you're the first person to do it, and you start, you're just an overnight success and an overnight expert. And I remember, even way when I was way younger, that Ja was a thing. We didn't even put the pa there. Now that they put Japa, it's Ja like Momaja or Mutija in Yoruba. Translated to English means I'm getting out, or I've gone, or this person has gone, or this person is going. Now, a lot of people would also leave, as visitors, but never come back.
Yeah.
You get, they never come back. They go as visitors, but find legal ways of staying back in the UK or any of these countries that they've gone to. We need to look at what's the cause of it. Now, I actually have seen that immigration is a part of life. It's a part of us as a people, not Nigerians. I'm talking about the world at large. That no matter how difficult or nice things are, people will immigrate. People will go.
Yeah.
And especially for countries like India, Pakistan,
where you have a lot of
Nigeria.
Yeah, the population is high.
The population is high, and people will leave. Sadly, they take along with them a lot of the skills that they have acquired from here. And that's brain drain, But if it comes to numbers and everything, there's still traffic in Lagos. Rent is still going higher.
There's still people looking for houses. Everybody is still like, it's not even just Lagos. We're still plenty everywhere.
In essence, all my Jackpot people, we don't miss you now like that. Apart from the ones that are our people going that, but hey, we still talk on the phone and all of that. So, the British have done it again for me. I don't think it's anything new. It's what they do.
Okay, so from looking at it from that angle, it's safe to say that they're just tired. They already have the quota of people they're looking for, and that's it for now. So anyway, for me, people at this point now, it means that you people that are planning to go with your children to the UK, it's going to be more difficult now. You have to do PhD or something for you to get to that point. But I'm also guessing that even with the PhD or even getting through school to the UK, it's probably even going to be more difficult at this point. I'm just saying, but it just looks like that's what is going to be. Anyway, let's move on from that quickly as the Nigerian Air Force has put up a presidential aircraft for sale and they're calling for bidders. They're saying the presidency is in charge of that. No, the presidency has given the approval and they need to let it go. Now, let's go to the courts.
Just like that.
Yes.
See, this private jet that they are talking about.
You want to buy?
Yeah. I was just talking to my
No,
neighbor
you're
now.
not buying.
I'm trying to build my own
You are
hangar.
not buying.
Are you, like, underestimating?
I'm not saying that you don't have the money. I'm saying that you are not buying. Are you buying?
If I buy it, I won't even change the color. I would still leave it as
Are you buying?
Yes, I have
You are
plans.
not buying.
Presidential jet,
You
so
are
that
not buying. As what?
I'll just leave it.
Presidential jet. As what?
I'm the president of my house now. Or my street. Or my estate.
Please, you people. Let's be moving on. We're going to the courts now. As first things first, the Attorney General of the Federation decided to show himself in court today as the head of the prosecution team that sentenced 4 Boko Haram financiers. I don't think it's something we see a lot of the Attorney General himself going to court, but that's the point. Isn't that the whole point of the job? Even though truly is also the Minister of Justice, so no, it's just not the Attorney General, but he is the Attorney General, so he can as well go to court.
Yeah, and we've heard about the stories of the financiers of this terrorist group, and a lot of these stories never get to this level. You hear about the arrest, you hear about allegations, you hear a whole lot of stuff, but hardly do you ever see them, carried out
court
like,
and
to the point where they even get to court, to the point where they're even being persecuted by the
government, yes,
number one lawman in the land. So this for me is
a win. We're definitely getting to that point now. Still talking about the courts, the former CBN governor apparently is still in jail. He is now going to court. A court is going back to court to approach the court on bail variation, according to one of his a statement from one of his lawyers. He's saying that he has still not been able to meet bail conditions. So they are going back to court for the court to temper justice with mercy. To be honest with you, I would not have thought, at first, the first court that granted him bail without anything, I felt it was kind of too easy, but okay. But this 300 million naira, I honestly did not think it was going to be so difficult for someone
Do you think it was
of his
about the money?
status.
I think the bail conditions, the money is just a part. It's not just the money.
So what I mean though, that it's not about, yes, but he also has to find people that have that money.
It's not the money that's the issue.
Every people.
That's it.
And so
it's not about
like
the people who
said,
have there are things that people don't want to commit to.
That, like I said, I would not think that someone of his status will be in want of people that could help him out of this situation.
Because you were talking about money.
And people. Because
money,
now
it wasn't about the money.
I get what you're saying. That's what I'm saying. You did not let me finish.
You never let me finish too.
Anyway, so I did not think that he would have been in want of people to help him out of this quagmire.
I don't care if he has people.
Oh my God!
I really don't care.
That.
I
was expecting that.
Continue to reiterate that Mr. Emefiele, was in charge of our suffering for a long period, and we have not gotten out of it. And sadly, even this case that they are holding him for has not come to the main case that they should be holding him for. This one is about appropriation or supply or whatever. You understand? But the real issue is still pending. So
because I also felt that if they are holding you for 1.2 billion, it's only just 300 million. That's just a quarter of it. How is that? That shouldn't be so difficult. It shouldn't be so difficult. But anyway, he's still in jail. I really thought he was be out of jail by now, but he's still in jail. I'm still talking about him. There's a diaspora group that are threatening to protest, saying that the Tinubu's government is treating Mr. Emefiele like a common criminal.
now,
yeah.
Now,
I'm lost.
now,
What are you?
we all need to learn how to respect the law. There's the law that guides us. Please protest. Don't stop your.
No. My point is, okay. So what makes him more? What makes him better than someone else that is in Kuje prison, that is being held?
I'm not.
Do you understand?
I'm not even going to.
I'm like, what makes him different? It's treated like common criminal.
If you go through,
I'm lost. What did you think was gonna happen?
If we go through other episodes of the Boombar, I've already taken this stance. So now, this is a message to the diaspora group or the local, whatever group that they are, that want to protest on behalf of Mr. Emefiele. Come and protest. What's holding you? Put your protest or protest your protest. You understand? Protest. What's holding you? Oh yeah. Next.
Anyway.
You want to protest that somebody is alleged to have stolen 1.something billion and is in jail for it and is going to court to prove his innocence, and until it's proven
he's been given bail. He's been granted bail. What else?
And you're saying, what are they supposed to do? Maybe fly him to the Maldives or something, pending when the case is read.
Or maybe like St. Kitts and Nevis.
Make una come protest the protest.
St. Kitts and Nevis is better.
Protest now.
Or
Santorini, you people did not.
Santorini.
You did not suffer what we suffered under this man. You are abroad. Diaspora group. People is diaspora again. Protest your protest now.
Anyway, let's go. Still talking about the courts. The court has now dismissed former Governor Ihedioa's suit against Governor Uzodimma. So basically, the point was that they're saying that the court should allow Mr. Ihedioa finish his tenure. That Governor Uzodimma used what's it called? The former Governor Ihedioa's tenure. Now, the Supreme Court definitely threw it out, and they're saying that this case had already been determined since 2019. And so why are they bringing the case back? The interesting part of this is that they just did not throw this out. They now find the lawyer that brought this case, very popular lawyer, Mike Ezekume, 40 million naira for bringing back to the Supreme Court a case that had already been determined by the Apex Court.
40 million, query?
Yeah.
Just 40 million.
Yeah.
Barrister Ezekume is a lawyer, so I can't talk too much.
Anyway, Sha,
if somebody
owing 40 million, he's owing the court 40 million naira.
Who is a senior advocate of Nigeria, who knows that tenures have lapsed and elections have been conducted and other things have happened. And all
you
of
decided to go to court to do that. Good luck to you.
Who are we to? It's a learned wig.
Any which way,
we bow to the wig.
Still, we have a lot of issues coming from the courts now.
She likes.
We're going all the way. No, we're going all the way to Kano State, where there's a very interesting matter happening in Kano State. Earlier in the day, there's a faction of the NNPP that's condemned the smear campaign against Governor Yusuf and the former governor, the NNPP presidential candidate Rabiu Kwakwanso. Wow. In the same vein, there is a whole letter with signatories from looks like another faction of the NNPP. I don't know which one is which now. Talking about affirming the judgment of the appeal court, saying that Governor Yusuf is not a member of the NNPP.
It's not hard now. You see, factions have emerged in the NNPP, which is the ruling party in Kano State, one of Nigeria's most populated and most populous states. All governor, the demolition, governor.
Seriously? You just
governor,
had to do that.
What do you call his name now? Abba Yusuf. All he has to do, just to buy ring lights, stand like very dark black man, and hold your NNPP membership card with the date that you joined NNPP. Just show them, because they're gonna learn.
Daddy.
Show them,
daddy.
But you can wait for the Supreme Court to decide. But if I was you, I would preempt them by showing them that I'm a member. All these NPP people that say I'm not a member, I'm a member. Then you show them, Governor. You understand? It's advice. This advice I'm giving you. You should pay for it, but don't worry.
You will keep it up.
Yeah.
Now, we're still saying on Kano where about 500 private lawyers have now decided to defend the Kano APC governorship candidate, Gawuna, at the Supreme Court.
1, 2, 3, 4, 500.
Okay, I would like this.
Sir,
This Kano water.
just in case you win, how do you pay these people?
No, they're this pro bono.
It's pro
They're
bono.
doing it like out of
500 lawyers.
Yeah, they're doing it out of love for the fact that he's the one that won the election.
Is Supreme Court going to sit inside the stadium now? Because how can they accommodate
I don't
500
shout out to
lawyers?
Supreme Court. Let's do what we're doing.
At this rate, 500 lawyers pro bono. Another thing that's even making me afraid now is that at this rate, because you know the man might feel obliged to want to settle them, so he has to start appointing them. You appoint them essay on biscuit lawyering. So you got 500 people.
We're going. We're moving on from that.
Nothing is free in this country.
We're definitely moving on from that. As
500.
Any which way, looks like Yobe State
no
does
way.
not have a first lady anymore.
Yeah.
How did
she
people
travel?
find out? So she is, I think, the first daughter of the former head of state.
Daddy.
Gumsu Abacha.
Daddy Abacha.
Yes, she's Gumsu Sonny Abacha. She's very proud of. Proud of that name.
Not our.
So
daddy.
apparently, I think she posted something. Keep in mind, she got married to the Yobe State Governor Mala Maibuni in 2021.
Just yesterday.
And she had posted something, and someone put it that someone had put a comment and said First Lady, and then she said First Lady of where, and the person replied,
YBNF.
what's happened?
YBNF first lady.
Gombe State, Yobe State. I said I'm not married.
Again? She's not married again. Did she marry and unmarry? Or she remarried to...
As a 45-year-old woman, I'm sure she knows when she's married and when she's not.
So she's unmarried now.
See, you cannot have that kind of daddy.
Wait.
And actually not, you really don't care how was a governor. How much does he have?
You mean our daddy is a personal daddy?
He's a personal daddy.
Then he's our Nigerian daddy.
As the first,
because the way that the Abacha has been sending money to Nigeria.
He's our own personal daddy. So if he's sending money to Nigeria, imagine how much he's sending
to his children. It's a lot.
Bagan.
So some people's own is alarm.
Alarm. Any which way, quickly, the U.S. Secret Service has now gone after a Lagos-based person who normally called Yahoo Boy. They're saying that they confiscated a Binance account that had over $2.5 million of blackmail proceeds. Now, before you talk about that, let's move on to one side. Yesterday, the EFCC chairman was at an event where he said that it's sad, though, that statistics has shown that 7 out of 10 Nigerian youth are involved in...
Not youth. Students.
Sorry, students.
In university.
Are involved in fraudulent activities.
Yeah.
And I'm like...
This is a scary start, even if...
I don't even think... I'm not sure I want to believe it.
Even if it's conjectured, I believe it is. I don't think that they have empirical facts, but maybe they have some inkling to... the people that they have apprehended and they've been able to interpret or whatever. Mm-hmm. But let's go with what the EFCC is EFCC chairman, Abi?
Yes.
I said 7 students, and we're talking tertiary institutions now. 7 of 10, and he didn't say 7 male students of 10 male students. No. He said 7.
7 of 10.
So, on the average, we even have more women in Nigeria than we do of men. So, Yahoo girls are taking over. It's something that I don't understand. But now, that one is just the ice-breaking angle of it. We are sitting on a keg of gunpowder here. You notice, they make these videos themselves, interviewing themselves. They can't speak good English. You see them write on social media, they can't write well. If you're angry at this thing I'm saying, then you are one of them, and I don't care. But if you can write well, why would you be angry? If you are not doing tabon English, why would you be angry? Why are we opening our eyes and allowing education die in this country? It is time to declare a state of emergency on the entire
education,
education sector in Nigeria. We must also talk to parents. Parenting is one of the biggest issues here. Dear parents, your children, they are buying things that you didn't give them money for. They did not earn the money the right way. They are stealing money online and doing criminal things.
Some of them are even giving parents these monies, and
you're taking them,
and they're okay with it.
They rent houses and you move in and stay there.
It doesn't make sense.
My son bought me a car, and he's in school.
They used to share money in school. It's not the same school that we all went to.
He's in school. But if your son is doing legit work, please enjoy the car and the things that they bought for you, even as students. But we must face this problem, because if it comes back,
it's going to affect everybody. It really is going to affect everybody. They're very scary stats, and it's just very sad, extremely sad. Now let's move on from that. Let's move on to something very I think this would be happy for the people of Ogun State, where it has now been announced that CNG powered buses have now begun operations in Ogun State, and there is a corridor from Mowe, Ibafo, and Berg all the way to Berger.
And
they're saying that it's about 400 naira.
It's cheaper than your.
Oh well, I'm sure.
Your petrol.
That's
diesel
quite a
buses.
Distance. That's quite a distance.
And these are the things that we're talking about. We know that these buses are not enough, but the fact that
there is an opportunity
within a 6-month period, they started converting.
The truth for me is that yes, like you said, they're not enough. But no matter the small amount of people that they move, and no matter the amount, it's still a large chunk of people that are saving money. It's mass transit at the same time. It's most likely a safer option.
Yeah.
Except from unforeseen circumstances, those buses they don't even have the kind of speed that these small buses. So accidents and all that, and it's moving a lot of people at the same time, is less amount of money for people, especially now that everybody is feeling the crunch. I think that it's better to start. They just say start anyway. Just start.
Start where you are, man.
Just start
with what you have.
Yes, I think that this is.
So a big shout out to the governor of Ogun State for coming through on this one. Some people made a lot of promises. How many of them have kept?
I've kept these promises. Exactly. So moving on from that quickly. We do have a few more minutes that we can do with a bit of sports.
Shame on you.
As Nigeria's Victor Osimhen has now gotten Italian FA Footballer of the Year gong. I think that it's official. It is Osimhen's year.
Congratulations to Victor Osimhen.
In fact, I think I'm going to fight if he doesn't get best player in Africa. I'm going to fight at this point.
It's the result of hard work, Hard work pays, I'm so proud as a Nigerian that, there's a Nigerian who has excelled at that level.
Breaking glass ceilings is amazing.
One of the people who had done this before in Italy was the outgoing president of Liberia, George Weah. And he actually congratulated him when he broke his goal scoring record a couple of weeks ago. So these are heights, that people can reach.
Yeah.
You see, George Weah became president of Liberia.
Yeah, you never know.
Victor, anything can happen.
Anything can happen, Abby.
Anything.
Still talking about awards. Real Madrid's Jude Bellingham has now won the Golden Boy Award by a record-breaking 485 points out of a possible 500 points after votes.
There was no way anybody would vote for anybody else based on the express of Jude Bellingham. Once he moved to Real Madrid, it was as if it was a match made in heaven. Maybe he was born to be in Madrid and become a star that he is. Jude Bellingham made the right choice by snubbing the English teams, and because he's English anyway, and going to Madrid, and there he is golden boy. He actually deserves it.
Yeah, I think he does. Quickly before we go. Sunderland has also sacked their coach ahead of the Newcastle Newcastle FA Cup clash. I don't know what.
Even if they didn't sack their coach,
it was still going.
it's Newcastle now. Newcastle know how to,
They know how to shake you.
Newcastle, hey.
Any which way.
Our team.
Oh really? Wow. Manchester United has now banned some reporters from the coaches' press conferences.
Well, it's not the first time. I know that when Sir Alex Ferguson was there, at some point, for a long time, he refused to talk to the BBC and one or two other journalists like that. Maybe Eric Ten Hag has reached that level now where you feel they talk to.
No, you people just go. You people are always
I'm not talking to you.
But annoy me.
But the thing is that after all this drama, are you going to get the results on the pitch? Because if you're going to do all of this and the club is supporting you and giving, then you must give the results in that's commensurate with support.
Exactly. Now, finally, before we go, all you people that are up to doing pranks, some people are landing in jail because of pranks.
With planes in jail.
Yeah.
You get landing.
A US YouTuber who staged a plane crash has now been jailed for 6 months.
You see, we're all in the YouTube game. We're all trying to, make the YouTube money and become this. But the truth is, I am afraid for the future. The way everything is content now.
Everything is content. Yeah,
and you must know that the natural world out there still will not just disappear one day and flow into your content-driven world. People want to make content of them going to the loo. Everything is content. There's an accident and the first thing you're thinking about is content. Here, the guy has contented himself into prison.
Any which way on that note, that is all we able to take today on The Bar. Thank you for listening. Thank you very, very much for watching. We'll be back again at 3 p.m. West African time tomorrow to give you another amazing time at The Bar. Do you have a beautiful, beautiful day ahead? Peace.